and welcome back to Orange Dog Gaming, where today I will be showing you how to make your first rocket and fly it in Kerbal Space Program. So to start off your first rocket, you are going to want to get to the NK123 command pod and click on that, and that will automatically place it in the VAB. Next thing you'll want to do is go into Utility and grab a parachute, the one with this lovely little blue tip, and put it on top. After that, you are going to want to go into Thermal and grab the heat shield, 2.5 meters. After that, you are going to want to grab a advanced reaction wheel module large, take off the heat shield, put that down and the heat shield underneath. Then you are going to want to put in your decoupler. You can put it down here, which is going to put on a little protective piece, but generally you're going to want to put it on right on the bottom of it. So next we are going to put on a Rockmax fuel tank, the one with the stripes, and that contains our liquid fuel and oxidizer. And to see that menu, if you press square on your mouse, then you'll get the menu up. So next thing is you're going to want to go into engines, and you're going to want to find the third liquid fuel engine. You go down right to the bottom and do cycle symmetry count and toggle snap. You're going to want to have it on snap mode on and have this on 4. Then you place these onto your fuel tank, and then you'll want a decoupler underneath that, and then go back into fuel and get the next size up, well, next 2 sizes up, which is this huge fuel tank. And then you want to get the main cell engine and have it on mid. This means it will take up less room and just looks a bit better. Once you've done this, you have to do the coating of the rocket. So you need to make sure that's engine first, then you decouple, boosters, decouple again, parachute. You're going to want to swap your parachute, click square if you're on PlayStation, hold X and drag it right up to the top like this. So that is your basic rocket design done. Next up, we're going to go out to the launch pad. So here we are on the launch pad now with our rocket, and before we lift off, there are 2 extremely important steps to do. Number 1, if you're using this command pod, you're going to want to turn on RCS, and also, no matter what, you will always, most likely, unless you're doing a challenge, need SAS. You want to get to your little meetup here to 100, which you can do slowly by holding L1 and the up or down arrow on PS5, or you can just do the up and down arrows and it does it instantly. So next up, you're going to want to press X, and that ignites the first booster. If you press the big touchpad, you can make all of these little meters and everything disappear. They are very important, because with this rocket, you're going to want to, as soon as this booster runs out, couple that, you're going to straight away want to start to tilt much more. Because as you get past the first atmosphere, about 75,000 meters, you'll want to tip your rocket a bit more like this, So if you look in the bottom left, you can see your. Just keep that little meter going, a bit like that. And then here we are, we're just breaking through the atmosphere now. We're starting to tilt a lot, and the booster is about to run out of fuel. So when it does run out of fuel, which is perfect timing right now, press X and you get rid of that bottom stage. So that will then float down to Kerbal, which is pretty much Earth. So you won't have to worry about that. Next up, you're going to want to press X again and activate your 4 boosters. As you can see, we are now moving very fast. Is that our other booster? You can see it here, just there, floating away. So, this little marker here, where it says orbit, that's a lie. If you see that, that just means you're in space. So if you look here, right now, we're going to end up going and landing in the desert. So as you go along, if you want to get to orbit, you're going to have to keep the boosters going, and you need to make sure that it's facing about this angle. So here we are, we're going to be landing just here on the dark side of Kerbal. Though hopefully by the time we get there, it will be light. So what you're going to want to do is get your little mouse pointer and click just about over here. And then you want to select warp here. And that means you can see our rocket is zipping around. And there we go, now we're here. So then you're going to want to decouple again, and if it's dark, you're going to want to turn on the lights. So here you've got our rocket, and you want to click this, you can see where's the land underneath you. You're going to want to turn the rocket a bit, so that it's facing about this angle. Here is the outline here, that's the heat shield. So then as we come down, the heat shield will protect us. We've got our reaction wheel and command module. You might want to also do a crew report. And you'll get a crew report and you want to press X to keep it. And then if you're feeling brave, you can get out one of your brave Kerbals and activate RCS, which is their jetpack. So now you are floating about in space with your jetpack. Though, looks like I've done it a bit bad timing here, because you can't do it at that time, because that was re-entry. Sadly, we've lost one of our Kerbals there. So next, when you launch this rocket, do not bring them out when you're going down. So here we see the rocket turning into a giant ball of flames. So you might want to spin it about a bit and it will adjust itself. And if one of these meters fills right up to the top, you're going to hear an explosion. So this heat shield is working very well right now. It is keeping us from burning up. Because if we didn't have this, the screen would be shaking, there'd be fire and explosions absolutely everywhere. Now then, once you get down to about 10,000 meters, you are going to want to deploy your parachute. As your rocket starts to slow down, you may, if you want to be safe, just deploy it at when it gets down to 15,000 meters, which is just now. And then you should have a safe landing. Also, if you get your cursor up, which is by pressing the left Joy-Con stick. You can then using the stick of the controller, use the mouse, and you can check the view of inside your capsule. You press the right controller stick, you can swap to the other Kerbal, and then press L1 and the right stick, and then you'll come out. So here we go, parachute deploying, and oh look, there's some debris from our rocket. And that's going to smash into the ocean, so you don't have to worry all about it. So as it comes down, you can kind of see that's the horizon going all around. Then here's our rocket. Soon it will be sunrise over here. And hopefully, if we look at the map screen, here we go. This is where we're going to land. So we may want to warp a little, using the 4x warp. And since we're landing in the water, we'll want to make that the ocean. The ocean counter for meters. So here we are doing our descent down. You can see there, I'm pretty sure that might be Mimas, which is the moon of Kerbin, which is past the Mun, which, by the way, if you didn't already know, isn't real. As you come down, you're going to want to get to 1x speed, and also when you're in your rocket, you can spin your rocket around. You can do it much easier in space, but when you spin it, make sure you don't have time warp on. Otherwise, this parachute would just go whoop and fly off, and then you'll crash. When you land, it is meant to get rid of all the parts under it, and then if you want to, you can get your Kerbal out, and they can go for a little swim. You can also do crew reports out here, well, EVA reports, and then climb back into the ship with Square, get back in, and then you can recover the vessel, which will then save your crew, and you're back at the Space Center. So that was the first rocket guide for basic rockets and flight. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!